Right, so in today's video I'm going to be showing you exactly how you can seed your own lawn from scratch. But before we get into that, this video is part of a full lawn renovation series. We've done quite a few things to this space over the past few weeks. All of them have been documented in short videos on this channel. First thing we did was kill the old lawn using Roundup, and then we removed the bush and the light from the front before finally just scarifying it to within an inch of its life to remove as much of that dead grass as we possibly could. We aerated it to loosen the soil, to give the roots somewhere to go, and we finished by just getting on and leveling it with a nice light layer of topsoil. And now that we have a fairly smooth surface, we can now get on with the seed and establish this as a brand new lawn. So the first thing you're going to want to do before you actually get on and chuck your seed down is to just create a bit of a seed bed using a rake, just by disturbing the soil ever so slightly. What you want to do is just rake across the space lightly, because that way you're going to make little channels in the soil that the seeds will eventually fall into, and you can rake back over them, cover them up, stop the birds from getting them. So you can see we just have these little channels now in the soil, and that's just going to mean that the seeds can more easily fall down into those spaces, and we'll get some really good seed to soil contact. And then now it's just time for the most important part of this renovation, and it's the grass seed that we're going with. So this is a bent fescue mix. It's 60% fescue, 40% bent. It's from the Lawn Association, not a sponsor of the video, there's no affiliate links, not. But if you've been on this channel for a while and you've seen the lawn renovation that I did this time last year in the back garden, you'll know that this grass seed turns your space into an lawn, and that space is in the shade for most of the day. This one is going to be in the sun, so I can imagine it's just going to look absolutely superb. Just for reference, it is their luxury lawn mix. There'll be something on screen now showing you exactly what the thing looks like if you want to go and check it out for yourself. If I can grow a decent lawn in that really terrible space for shade that I've got, then literally anybody can. So you apply this seed mix at roughly 15 to 20 grams per square metre, which for grass seed seems quite low, particularly if you're used to getting on your space with ryegrass. However, the bent grass seeds are absolutely tiny, and just for reference, if I try and get in close to show you now, those big seeds there, they're the fescue. Those tiny little fellas, they're the bent grass seeds. There's probably millions of them in this bag, and that's what's going to give you a really dense lawn. And when you get patches in it or damage on it over the years, where the kids are playing it, where the dogs are running around on it, or whether you just have some dieback over the winter, it's those really that are going to help to thicken your lawn back up. That's roughly 189 grams, let's say 190 grams, give or take. This space only really needs about 400 grams of the stuff. However, I'm going to get on with a little bit more, because you can't really, well, you can over apply seed, but you're better off erring on the side of caution and putting a little bit more down than what is probably required for, you know, your space, because you're really only going to get 70% maybe germination at a good rate. Some of it isn't going to germinate. That's just, you know, the nature of the beast. So putting a little bit extra down, you know, it's not going to kill anybody. As we always say on this channel, no one's going to die. And the best thing to put the seed down with is a drop spreader, because with a normal fertilizer spreader, it kind of distributes it in a bit of a fan pattern, whereas with this, it's just dropping it straight down. You're not going to get any into your flower beds or waste any on the road. It's going to fall exactly where you want it to be. Ideally with seed, you want to put it on quite a high setting, because the holes are only small. However, with these bent seeds being absolutely tiny, I don't want to go too big with the holes, and if you have to do multiple passes, then that's just the nature of the beast. I put this onto 12. I'm going to see how I get on with the first strip. You can always adjust it as we go. When you do your second pass, it's usually a good idea to go an alternate direction as well, just so you're not leaving any gaps anywhere in the lawn. So what I'll do, I'm going to start in the centre here. I'm going to go up and down this way, do the same on the other side. So that's probably enough seed then getting down there onto the soil. It's just a case now of make sure we go over any of the edges that we might not have been able to get to very well with the drop spreader, which in this case is just over this side. And now this part is key, because this is what's going to stop the birds from actually taking all your seed, and that's just raking it over. What you're trying to do is get it to kind of mix in within the soil. Rake it just lightly. You're not going to move the seed too much. You are going to move it to an extent, but if you just go back and forth just gently as so, just to incorporate that seed into the soil, then you're not going to move it too far from where you've placed it. You are going to disturb it to an extent, but you're disturbing every seed in the same sort of way, so you're not going to be moving it too much from its original place. And bear in mind, those bent grass seeds are absolutely tiny. If the birds get to them, then fair play to the birds, because they're absolutely miniature. I mean, the fescue seeds, yeah, they're going to snack on a few of them, and that is just the nature of the beast. We kind of have to take the hit with that one, but those bent grass seeds, yeah, they've not got a chance in eating every single one of them. So yeah, let's rake all this over, and then yeah, job will be a good one. So there we go, we've raked the soil back over most of those seeds. Now they've almost become part of the soil. They've been kind of like tucked in between the particles of soil, and what that's going to mean is that when we water it or when it rains, that seed's going to be able to stay a little bit more moist, because it's wrapped up in that soil, which is going to retain some of that moisture, and then that way we're hopefully going to get some really decent germination. Now there's only one last thing that we need to do at this stage. Really, it's optional. You don't need to do this. It's not life or death, but we're going to get on. We're going to feed the entire space, and we're going to feed it with this, which is true grass. Now, again, if you've been around on this channel for a while, you'll know that I use true grass quite a lot, and it's for a number of reasons, really. The first of which is that it's not a really strong fertilizer, so it has like a low percentage of nitrogen. It's not going to increase the growth rate by a massive amount, but what its real aim is to do is to condition the soil. It's got all the things in there you need: your humic acids, your seaweed, all that good stuff that, you know, feeds the soil. But it's about increasing the microbial activity, and what I want to do at this stage, I want to condition that soil. And with this being a newly seeded lawn, I want to condition it quite heavily. So the directions on this say you can feed at a rate of anywhere between sort of 20 to 50 grams per square metre, but because I am going to be conditioning the soil, I've been in contact with the Lawn Association, and their advice to me has been not to get on with the usual sort of 50 grams, but to get on with around about 100 grams per square metre, which is quite a lot. And that's going to mean that when we get germination from the new seedlings that are going to germinate over the next week or two, then the soil's already going to have some good feed in there for them to feed off of, to promote that really healthy growth. Now there's a bit of wind today, which isn't ideal. I'm going to put this on setting 5, see how we get on. Now I did get a little bit of the true grass on the patio over here, and no doubt some of it was lost to the road as well, but sometimes they're the sacrifices that we have to make all the time, that no one's going to die. However, will some fertiliser be sometimes lost? Possibly. Will we have to brush it back onto the lawn and a bit of concentrated feed around the edges? Most certainly. That's all we're really going to have to do to seed our lawn from scratch, and the last thing we're going to do is to get on and give this a water. But before we do that, I just wanted to share this. Now I am conscious that this video might seem like a Lawn Association advert. I promise you now, it's not. I've not received any money, I've not got any affiliate links for any of this sort of stuff, but this is something that they sent to us around about 2.5 months ago, something like that. And basically it's just a record keeping manual, and at first I thought, yeah, I might use it, but actually it has come in really, really useful. So I've been using it since the start of March, and you can see that you can kind of keep track of the condition of your lawn. So P's poor, G's good. I had a week where it was decent, now it's poor again. You can show when you've fed the lawn, where you've mowed the lawn. I've made some notes down the sides of all sorts of things as to, you know, when I've changed the height of cut, how much feed I put down on specific dates. I've even mentioned about the power, about how I tried like pulling some out by hand. I killed some of the Roundup, and then on the 29th I just decided to rip the entire thing out because it was doing me nothing. You can see from April, this is where we are at the time of recording now, so we're on the 25th of April at time of seeding today. The lawn's actually starting to look good. The R stands for the robot lawnmower that I'm using to cut the lawn in the back garden at the moment, but it's quite a good way to keep track of what you're doing to your lawn. And the idea is, like, this time next year I'll be able to get the record manual out and sort of compare what I did last year and look at how it looked last year in terms of, did it look poor, did it look good, how often did I cut the lawn, how often did I feed it. And if I make any mistakes this year, then this is going to help me to sort of rectify them moving forward. So if you want to pick one up, you can. They're doing like a competition thing, so you can have your photos on the record manual and whatnot. So I might not get on there with my small lawns, but you've got a fairly nice space in the sun all day, then you might certainly get on there yourself. But I think it's really useful. I've got another one on the way which I'm going to be using for this lawn to track it this year. So if you're into lawn care, you're a bit of an enthusiast with it all, then you know it's probably a good idea to keep a log or a record of what you do. I'm quite fortunate to have this YouTube channel, so I can go back and look at this time last year, what did I do to the lawn. Whereas if you've not got your own channel, then this is kind of something that's probably going to help you to monitor what you're doing. So when it comes to watering your new seed, the last thing you want to do is to put a sprinkler down and just leave it on for 20 minutes. And the reason for that is because you've got to ask yourself, what are you watering? The reason why you'd put a sprinkler on for 15-20 minutes on an established lawn is because you want that water to go deep, so that the roots can go deep and search for that water. Whereas when you're watering a newly seeded lawn, all you're after is the seed germinating and the seeds on top of the soil. This is that top layer of soil now. So if we get on and spray the thing for half an hour, one, wasting loads of water, and two, wasting loads of time. This space now should take me the best part of a couple of minutes to water. So all we're trying to do is just wet that very top surface of the soil to enable that seed to germinate. And this is something you're going to want to do maybe, you know, not on that mode, sort of 3 times a day ideally. And like this now, you're going to want to use a really fine mist mode, because that way you're not going to move any of the seed around. The seed's going to stay where it is. If you get on with too much of an aggressive spray, then you're going to end up, you know, moving that seed from the place that you put it, and then you're going to have a bit of a disaster on your hands. I mean, I know the hose isn't doing me favours here like that, but on a still day I can reach this end from over there. It's just because there's a wind blowing at the moment. I've had to stand on this part. A lot of people online will tell you to put the sprinkler on for half an hour, and you know, it's good to water the soil. You don't need to, it's nonsense. I did this with the lawn last year in the back, hardly used any water. The lawn ended up absolutely superb. Should have gone round that way, shouldn't I, with the hose, in hindsight. Yeah, we live and learn, eh? That's what it's all about. There we go. That's all we need to do. The space is being watered. We're going to leave this hose down the side of the house and to put all my gear away in a moment. Just so, come out 3 times a day, give it a water. Come out in the morning, nice and early. In the afternoon or after work if you can. And then later on in the evening, don't worry about getting like disease. You're not going to get a disease on a patch of soil just knocking about with hardly any growth on it. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. And yeah, that's everything really for this lawn renovation so far. So if you want to stick around and follow along with the rest of the progress and see how this lawn gets on over the next few weeks, then consider subscribing if you haven't already. If you want to follow on Instagram, I always post pictures with updates of things that I'm doing and sort of like behind the scenes stuff of what goes on this channel. Then head over there, the link is in the description below. And I do have a TikTok now, it's Novice Gardener Official, not the snide one, it's the real one, Novice Gardener Official. Post loads of things in there, shorter versions of my videos, all that sort of stuff. And yeah, give the video a like if you enjoyed it or found it useful. Finally, thanks for watching.